So the first thing I'm going to come in here and do is try and sort this gasket out, because I've got a spare gasket which I can put on now, and I just want to see you know, if that is the reason why it's so oily down here. So I've got some brake clean, and I'm just gonna kind of spray that all off, clean it up, so when I've changed the gasket I can see if it still gets oily, because I'd rather, when the whole thing's up and running like this, I'd rather just make sure I fix that first and then put the engine on. I know it's all good. That's a fair bit of cleaning there. You can see, well, just about, you can see it says B16A2 there for the engine, which lines up here, B16A2. Anyway, so there we have it. That's a bit cleaned up. I really am thinking it is this cam cover, because it's oily here, it's oily down the back here, it's oily in there, it's kind of everywhere's high up enough. So I don't think it's anything else, or at least I think that's the main contributor. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop this cam cover off now, which is fairly simple. I need to check if I've got some Honda Bond, because you put a bit of Honda Bond in the corners on the seal. So there. So I want to make sure I've got some Honda Bond. But yeah, I'm going to basically pop that off and just put a new gasket in there. Another one that's slightly strange is that this oil cap has got a crack in it. I don't know if I've seen that. I guess it's only plastic, but anyway, yeah, so it's all 10 mils, 10 mil, 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 10 mil. Obviously take these off that hold the cables, and I'm just going to put it back on as well, just so I know where everything came off. So yeah, get to undoing these. Obviously I do have a Milwaukee, but I'm basically not wanting to bust that out and damage all these chrome nuts. So that's all of those off. I can just take this off. I can see that someone's been here before, because someone's put a little bit of silicone on the outside, which obviously it's not the fix. I need to be careful taking this off. Let's snap it. So I went in with a non-mar, just went in just underneath there, and I might try and come in under here as well, just to try and kind of prise it up. So yeah, got that off there like that. Put that there for now. More oil. So I'd say oil on top here is going to be partially, it could be in a way that, but I think it's going down actually. So it's probably these O-ring gaskets. This is probably going to be an oily situation in here. Let's have a look. They're quite dry. Maybe a bit of, I don't know, clumsy filling of the oil that's got down in here or something weird like that. But either way, these MHT leads look quite new actually. Anyway, and then we go down to these are 10 mils as well. So I'm going to take each of these out, and then I should be able to get the cam cover off after I've taken all of these HT leads out. Right, so this is the kit that came with the car, the blueprint. I'm going to rescue this seal out of it, and then the 4 of these spark plug seals as well. Looking at this, it looks like the one next to the VTEC solenoid seems okay. Seems fairly dry, a bit hard to say, but so I'm not too worried about that, and I can change that afterwards anyway. This isn't because I want to keep this valve cover in this state on forever. I just want to see if there's anything else going on. You know, do you have a problem with the head gasket or something like that leaking outwards? Or so I'm going to do this now purely to see is there anything else going on with this engine. So yeah, let's quickly whip this off. You can see I've taken all these little spacer things out there. There's rubber on one side, metal on the other. Taken all them out, so it should be ready to come. I'm going to just tap it with rubber hammer and just see if I can break it loose. the thick bit there, and it goes the whole way around. So, and the ones for the spark plug holes. This is the other cam cover I've got. This is, I'm not going to put that in yet, but just to show you the difference, what a clean one looks like and this sick one looks like. And then I've got my Honda Bond. It's mainly dry, but does have a little bit of a liquidity at the top there. So I'm just going to put a Stanley knife through that. And I'm just going to put little blobs in each of the corners and just whack this cam cover on there. Now the Accord is gone. Happy about that. And back to this red car. So what I'm going to do is I need to degrease this engine bay, because I don't know what happened, but basically a load of oil and stuff seems to have gone everywhere, like the engine blew up, or I don't know what happened. But if you look down here, you can see what's going on. Just kind of like oil mixed with road muck, and it's kind of everywhere. It's mainly along this chassis rail, and just, I don't know, it's kind of everywhere. It's a bit drier on this side, for example. It seems to be all over the wiring loom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably disconnect the wiring loom anyway. Actually, I might leave it in situ and just going to use this gunk stuff. I've got rid of the container, but yeah, I'm going to just spray it on with my little pump and leave it to sit for 5 minutes. Let's get the container so I can show you. I've got this new racking. Seems pretty decent. Got metal shelves as well, which is nice. Bits left over from this Accord. I've tried to be organised with how I sorted everything out, but you can see it's just a lot of stuff. Anyway, here's the stuff. Gunk Ultra engine degreaser, and that's what it says to do. Shake well before use. I'm not sure I did that or not, but brush on. I'm going to spray it on, leave for 1 or 2 minutes, and then wipe off with a wet cloth or sponge, and then repeat as necessary. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, this is a little dispenser I've got. These are quite good. I've got one for brake clean and bought another one, so I'm going to use this one. It was for brake clean at some point, but shake it up, that's what it said, and spray it on. Let's have a look. Already going. Yeah, like that. Adjust the nozzle on these things to make it kind of a fine mist, like that, or just kind of straight pour. So just get in there everywhere. So we're going everywhere, and then just leave it to rest for a bit. That's been sitting a few minutes. Other things I've got to help with this are some of the brushes. These are just nylon washing up brushes, and I've got a couple of packs of toothbrushes as well. So that's the whole thing properly coated. You can see someone has painted this engine bay at some point and not done an amazing job. Down to the primer, use some grey primer. So as you kind of, you know, as you go over this, you see that basically you get down to the primer quite quickly. So it's even bits I've not even touched. That's happened. So not the best, but it doesn't really matter. I just want to get it clean. This isn't going to be a concourse car or anything. I just want to make it so that it's not just messy to work on. So what I've done is I've just sprayed the whole thing down again. I'm going to leave that for a bit longer, and then I think I'll come back to it. I'm going to power wash it as well, which is not something I usually do, but I'm going to just basically wrap all the electrics up, just so they don't get covered in water. So I'm just disconnecting the loom. One thing I've got to do is this one goes to the battery live in the fuse box, and this one goes to the rest of the loom. I'll just take those two out, that means I can take the whole loom out of there. Right, now we've got the degrease all over, we can just undo this. Ready? Go on. Don't get wet. Just all over the car. Okay. It amazes me that even up here is caked in oil, so it's hard to say exactly what happened, but I think at the bare minimum one of the drive shaft boots was just letting oil just slosh round and spin up, because if I take it off the stand, I'll show you what I mean. So this CV boot is only held on zip ties, which is obviously not what you're meant to do. There's oil all over here. There was oil caked up the chassis leg. This looks like there's, I don't know what that is, just some, I don't know, there's some black stuff there all over the bonnet, but mainly this side, even on the bonnet catch. So the degreasing's gone pretty well. Has shown up a few bits of rust, so there's bits of rust down here, but it's not really sinister. It's all kind of surface stuff, it looks like. There's no like holes or anything like that. And then there's some rust here as well, again surface, and it just looks like maybe there's had a bit of a brake fluid bleed or something and it's ended up down there, or maybe that's just where the water collects, who knows. But I really just want to kind of tidy all of it, and like I was saying before, it looks like the paint is very, very thin. I think this might be the factory paint, and then this isn't the factory paint, someone's painted this. It's hard to see on camera, but and then see, it goes quite quickly down to the primer, factory primer. So that's kind of what's going on here, is that it's just so thin, the paint, and it's not even places I've cleaned. It's almost not even there in places. So it's not, obviously this is a cheap car, it came out of the factory, and they just didn't put a lot of paint on, particularly the engine bay. So yeah, I just want to kind of paint the bonnet and the underside there, just because I don't want to get filthy working on this car. And I'm just going to clean up down here as well on that subframe a bit more. I might actually take the subframe off. Right, the weather's taken a turn for the worse. It doesn't matter, still a lot of cleaning to do. And one thing I wanted to do is have a look and see if these NK, I think they're RPO ones, I can maybe correct myself if I'm wrong. I've got some wheel cleaner, and I wanted to see if I can clean them up. There's a lot of brake dust, particularly on the fronts here, and another thing I noticed, there's a wheel weight here, which I don't know why it's there. It should be on the inside really, it'll look a bit better, but either way, yeah, they're quite nice tyres, Pilot Sport 3s, so I think they're reasonable. I can't see a date code yet on them. Yeah, we're 2620, so 26th week in 2020, so they're not even that old. They've got a fair bit of grip left on them. So anyway, let's put some of this wheel cleaner on, let it soak in. So let's just spray it on. I don't have a spray bottle, but what I do have is a cup. Right then. This is obviously not dry yet, but what I managed to get done. So all the rails are nice and clean now. You've managed to get in here a bit. Might spray some more degreaser up in here and around there. I got rid of that big black mark at the back, which is good. And then all in here is nice and clean as well. Also down here, I might go in a bit more in there. And also the underside of the bonnet. So yeah, it's looking a lot better. Still a bit more work, might be able to get in there with a toothbrush and do a bit more. And then the last bit I wanted to do, or one of the last bits, was this wheel. So it's already looking a lot cleaner. I'll put you on the stand and watch what it looks like when it's clean. So not perfect, better than it was. Might have another go.